Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about VLANs and why are they important and why are they used. We're going to do some configuration in Cisco Packet Tracer. So first thing is, why do we even need VLANs? So we need them because if we don't separate traffic on switches, we get too much broadcast traffic. You have one big broadcast domain and there's just a bunch of traffic being sent in one place. So there's no separation between departments, and that can cause security risks in some ways, and also cause poor performance. Because then you don't have as much traffic going all over the place. You only have it segmented. So that's what we're trying to do with VLANs. We're trying to segment traffic to specific ports so that they only go to specific clients. So here's a logical example on a switch. You can see there's a switch, and then there's PCs connected to ports for VLAN 10 and ports for VLAN 20. Okay, so if you connect a PC to where it says VLAN 10, that PC is going to be able to access whatever is on VLAN 10. So if you're IT or if you're HR or sales, you're going to only get that specific information. You're only going to get the traffic from that VLAN. Now, this is important, like I said, because it helps with stopping some broadcast traffic. It also, like I said, it also helps with security. So it keeps everything segmented. And there's a definition of a VLAN. A VLAN actually stands for virtual local area network. So a LAN, local area network, VLAN, virtual local area network. So we're creating virtual LANs inside a switch. And is a logical segmentation of a physical network. So logical being it's a logical. So when we're talking about logic versus physical, we're saying that a logic is not the part that you can see, like not the physical device, but what we're actually configuring and programming inside a switch. So even though the switch only has one port, we're logically taking these ports and creating other LAN networks with them. So like a real world example, like I said before, or might have mentioned, is so if you have a team in sales, you have a team in HR, a team in IT, you have all these devices plugged into switches. You don't want the team that's in IT to have connection with the team that's in HR. So you want to divide that segment up so that they're not accessing resources that they shouldn't be. So let's say you have a server that's for the IT department that should be on VLAN 30. You don't want someone in the sales department to accidentally have access to that server. So you separate them, you divide them apart using VLANs. And you can also do this with phone traffic and video traffic so that you can have specific traffic only being used for like phone calls or phones and that nature. So broadcast domain is broadcast traffic only stays inside its VLAN. A VLAN separates broadcast domains. PC in VLAN 10 sends ARP requests, and only devices in the VLAN 10 receive it. So like we were just saying before, it kind of cleans up the broadcasts from being sent all over the place. It kind of reduces the noise on the switch for devices. All right, so like we said, it's the reason they are important is one, for security. So obviously that's really important. You don't want someone from, like we said, one department to have access to another department. That would be not good, and that would be insecure. You don't want that. Reduce the broadcast traffic, like we explained, better performance. So because you're not sending so much traffic all over the place, you're segmenting it. That's reducing the amount of like traffic being sent. You're reducing the amount of performance being needed. So it helps with that. And easier network management. It's an easy way to manage what you have on the network. You know what port belongs to what. You know who needs to be able to have access to what on the network. And logical grouping, like we said, logical, not a physical device, but logically we're saying that even if the PC is in the other office, if we have a switch that has that same VLAN set up from a different area, we can still be able to talk to that other VLAN from another office, if that makes sense, logically speaking. Even if you have like two switches from two different areas. So go back. So yeah, so now let's go into Cisco Packet Tracer and actually configure some VLANs. Okay, so here I have a setup for in Cisco Packet Tracer. I've got a switch, and I've got 3 PCs, and underneath them I have the VLAN that they're supposed to be in, and I also have a name for them. So in the switch, we're going to click on the switch here. I'm going to go into the CLI. Okay, I'm going to go into enable into the privilege exec mode, conf T or configure terminal. That gets into the global configuration mode. But actually, if I go back one, I hit exit to go back one. If I go to show VLAN brief, which is a command to show what we have set up for the VLAN. Let me make this bigger. Longer, I should say. It shows us what we have for VLANs. And right now, nothing is set up on the VLAN. But you can see that we already have one VLAN already set up by default. And on every switch, there's always a VLAN 1 by default. So every switch comes, you plug it in, you're on VLAN 1. We see all the ports are active, and we see that, yeah, there's no other VLAN set up. So let's go back into here, go back to conf T, and we're going to set up a VLAN. So I'm going to say VLAN 10. So I just put VLAN and then a number to identify the ID of the VLAN. And so we're going to put VLAN 10 as HR. And to do that, you need to put name, and you can just write the name of the VLAN. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the other two. I believe VLAN. Okay, so VLAN 20 is sales. So actually, while I'm already in this configuration for this VLAN, I can actually configure another VLAN. See, so if I hit VLAN and then hit 20, I'm now in the VLAN 20 configuration area. So now I'm going to name this sales, and then I'm going to create my other VLAN 30, name IT. And okay, so if I do that show VLAN brief, okay guys, so now we have 3 new VLANs set up. VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30. Okay, but we don't have any ports configured for them yet. So the way we do that is I just check to see, okay, what ports are connected. So we have fast Ethernet. All right, so to configure the ports that you need to be in VLAN, we have to go back into Conf D. I'm going to go into interface, fast Ethernet, because it's not a gigabit, it's an Ethernet port, 0//1. And I'm going to configure that by using a command called a switch port. Okay, so this is how we configure this switch. We go into switch port mode. You don't necessarily, I don't think you actually have to go into mode, hit access. But I'm using access because in this case, we wanted to have access to a VLAN. So I'm going to go back to switch port, access, VLAN, and now I'm going to say which VLAN that it's going to have access to. Okay, so let's go back, exit. I'm going to go into the next interface. I'm going to do the abbreviation interface F02, switch port, switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN 20. And let me just go ahead and do the same thing for VLAN 30. So switch port mode access. And what I'm saying when I'm putting into access mode is that I'm telling the switch that this port is only going to be used to access a VLAN. That's it. There is another part of this called a trunk, which is when you connect switches to another switch, or a switch to a switch, or a switch to a router, and you want multiple VLANs to be able to travel between switch and router. I'll try to cover that. I'll cover that in another video. But for today, we're just going to focus on the creating of the VLANs and how it looks like. So so switch port VLAN mode access, switch port access, VLAN 30. Okay. So if we do a show run, which is a show running config, I'm able to see what we've configured so far on the switch, which shouldn't be that much, but it's just going to be a couple of these interfaces. So you see here where it says interface fast Ethernet 01, switch port mode access VLAN 10. So we have this port is now has access or has been switched to mode access for that VLAN 10. Same with 20 and 30. And if we go to here, show VLAN brief. So if we do show VLAN, by the way, it gives us like a bigger version of what we're looking at, which is nice. But if you're just trying to see what kind of VLANs you have, show VLAN brief gives you a cleaner version of it. And so we can see now that we have those three VLANs, the HR, sales, and IT. We see that the fast Ethernet 1, 2, and 3 are now actually taken away from VLAN 1 and put into these VLANs. Okay, so or into their own VLAN. So now they're basically on their own island, if you will. They're segmented away from the rest of the other traffic. So if I was to take the PC that's in port 1 away, plug in another computer into port 1, that computer is going to have access to VLAN 10, to the HR. So regardless of the computer that's plugged in, it's the port that you configured gives you access to that. So that's important to know, I guess, in case you're wondering about that. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys today. Just basically what a VLAN is, what it looks like, and then how to configure it on Cisco Packet Tracer. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.